I look at this or look at you?
Growing questions about the future as one of the nation's most storied newspapers after the Washington Post slashed about 30% of its workforce this week, eliminating local, international, and sports coverage following several years of losing money. So the cut's seen as a billionaire owner that the sign as Jeff Bezos. He has not figured out how to make the Post profitable in the digital age, and it's also as a move to appease the Trump administration. And joining me now is former Washington Post senior diplomatic reporter and fact-check columnist of great fame and admiration, Glenn Kessler, who left the paper last year. So I just want to make the point to everybody, Glenn, that you were not part of the layoff. So first, let's talk overnight what happened, because you saw the news that the publisher, he has left, Will Lewis. He has stepped down. I'm curious your thoughts on that. Did he resign or was he too fired?
Oh, he was definitely fired. I mean, if you parse the statement issued by Jeff Bezos after the fact, it's very clear that Bezos finally had enough of Will Lewis and cut ties. I mean, Will Lewis had been telling people that he had a 7-year, he had 7 years to turn around the Post. And he barely lasted 2. And it's been one, failed initiative after another. And I kind of suspect that partying at the Super Bowl, just
not a good look.
Not a good look. As you laid off the entire sports department, was not a good look.
Yeah, it was kind of like, what? So you argue, and this was in an NS Now column, and you argue that Bezos's cuts have ended the Washington Post as we know it. What do these layoffs mean for the paper, whose creed is democracy dies in darkness, and its ability to continue doing the in-depth, analytical, trustworthy reporting that we appreciate? Well,
it's important to emphasize the extent of these cuts. I mean, there's a number of around 300 or 1/3. I think the actual number, when they actually count it, it'll be closer to 320, maybe even 340. And the staff was maybe 780 or so. So you're talking about almost a 50%.
Almost 50%.
Almost 50%. And then you look at the people that they laid off at least two Pulitzer Prize winners for reasons that make no sense to me. They cut climate change was supposedly a big focus, a big initiative Jeff Bezos emphasized, and I think they laid off 14 of 18 climate change reporters. On the foreign staff was 65 people. It was brought down to 12 or 13 people.
One of whom was actually in a war zone in Ukraine, laid off while reporting in the war zone.
Exactly. Yes, I know. It was done with. I kind of feel like they took lessons from Elon Musk and the Doge operation and how to fire people with such cruelty.
Do you get a sense that this was done for financial reasons or for political reasons? Maybe a direction for the paper, or to curry favor politically and personally by Jeff Bezos, curry favor with the administration?
Yeah, and that's what I argued in my column for MS Now. It's not really about the money. I mean, yes, the Washington Post was losing tens of millions of dollars. And you obviously want the newspaper to stand on its own 2 feet. But Jeff Bezos tolerated years of losses at Amazon. His space company loses $4 billion a year.
This is chump change.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it is. Yes,
for him.
He bought the Washington Post for $250 million. Just last year, he bought the most expensive super yacht in the world for $500 million. And it requires another $75 million boat to tag along to provide a heliport. This is not a man that has, necessarily is, if he were concerned about democracy in America and, it's sustaining a public institution, these are losses he could certainly sustain until, of course, the paper got on its 2 feet and could stand on its own.
Tell you, the whole thing is heartbreaking about the Washington Post. But those who stay, they will do the best they possibly can, do their darndest best.
Yes.
And we'll be watching for that. And those, again, your former colleagues as well. Glenn Kessler, good to see you. Thank you much.